Growing number of children are showing signs of puberty at significantly younger ages than average. So here to talk a little bit more about this is our 9 health expert, Dr. Kohli.
Thanks for coming in.
Good morning.
This is concerning. So what is the average age of puberty in the U.S. and how early are these kids experiencing this?
It's supposed to be between 8 and 13 for girls, but if you look at the historical trends over the last 40 years, it's really been dropping very quickly. And if you go back to the mid-19th century, actually girls started having their periods at about 16 and a half, and now it's down to 12 and a half. So we've seen a dramatic decline in when kids are going into puberty, less so in boys, but more so in girls. And it's starting to get us worried about what sort of long-term effects this may have.
Yeah, we were reading reports yesterday that girls as young as 5 years old are now experiencing this. Why is this happening?
The pandemic in the last few years has really accelerated this, and it's gotten us a little bit worried. Now, we've known for some time that factors like, biological factors, genetics, for example, when your mom had menarche or period is when you're going to have it. Race has a big role in it as well. So Black girls are twice as likely to go into early puberty as compared to Caucasian girls. And then socioeconomic factors, so kind of quality of life, what types of foods you're eating, even products that you're exposed to, beauty products or cosmetics and chemicals, those types of things all have factors in early puberty.
Why during the pandemic did we see it accelerated?
Well, so we thought it has to do with screen time. So our kids being on the screen is disrupting their sleep. It's all that blue light exposure is actually disrupting some of their chemicals and kicking off puberty a little bit earlier. In fact, animals that have been exposed to screens go into precocious or early puberty as well. So we think that may have accelerated it. The other thing we've seen is not just are they going into puberty early, but the rate at which they go through puberty has seemed to sped up as well over the pandemic.
And with all of this, what are the concerns regarding a child's physical and mental health?
Well, you can imagine if you're going into puberty when you're only 5 years old, your bones can actually close prematurely. So the growth plates can close. So it can even affect what height you end up achieving as an adult. It can affect your risk of cancer down the line because you're being exposed to hormones like estrogen or testosterone a lot earlier. And then from a mental perspective, it can affect kind of how people interact with you. You're more sexualized. A 5-year-old with breast development is going to be sort of treated differently by her peers, and you can see mental health problems, you can see eating disorders, you can see anxiety, depression, all occurring in our young children.
Well, as a mom, especially I have a little girl, this is so concerning. Is there anything that we can do as parents to slow this down? I mean, aside from the screen time?
Well, so the one thing is to first kind of talk to your doctor about whether your child really is going early or they're just an early bloomer. And the way we decide that is by looking at something called a bone age, which they compare to their chronological age, looking at their hormones, looking at their reproductive organ development. So if they're just blooming early, then you kind of leave them alone. And mostly for girls, we actually tend to do that. It's rare that we end up giving them puberty blockers or hormones to sort of block the puberty from occurring. But if it makes sense because it's occurring too early or because it's going to affect their development or for other social reasons, then that's something you want to talk to your doctor about.
Yeah, this is certainly alarming. Something we didn't know was happening until as of late. So thank you very much. We appreciate you being here, Dr. Kohli.